credit and debit cards. Okay, thank you very much. So I think we've got 5 minutes here. I'm going to spend about a minute or two just telling you a little bit about what BuildGuard does, and then spend the rest of the time talking about what BuildGuard thinks we can do with Concur for users of the Concur system that would be useful for their customers. So once again, my name is Bill High, and I do business development at BuildGuard. So BuildGuard is an application, a mobile application that's been out for a year. It's basically an application for monitoring all your financial accounts and the transactions on those accounts on your mobile device. You can use this, it's used generally for keeping track of your spending and also just making sure that you don't see fraud or questionable transactions on your accounts. So, first of all, it starts with the ability to connect the mobile application to all of your accounts. We support 5,000 or over 5,000 financial institutions. So you can get all of your bank accounts, credit cards, debit cards, all connected into the application. And when you do that, then the transactions come in on a regular basis, and they're displayed to you in an inbox kind of a style. And either as a group or one by one, you can review these and clear them if they look like they're normal and charges that should be there. If you see anything that's questionable, you can flag it. We give you ways to contact many merchants directly so that you can question a charge or request some correction to it. And you're also connected to the community of other BuildGuard users. So if anybody in the world flags a transaction as fraudulent or questionable, that same transaction, if it appears on anybody else's statements, is also flagged for those users. You get kind of an early alert for things that might be questionable. On average, it's a very sort of engaging application. On average, users are connecting to the application and using it about 7 times a week. And we've got about 1 million registered users that we've that registered for the application since we first released it a year ago. There's a lot of security function in there, so a lot of different things can alert you to potential fraud on your account. We also send a lot of alerts, so there are card fraud alerts if they are announced in the industry, or data breach alerts from Home Depot and people like that. If you have shopped at the place that's announced a data breach, then we'll alert you. And so far in the last year, we've uncovered 60 million of fraudulent charges in there for our users. There's also a new feature called Location Alerts, which will alert you if there's a charge on one of your cards at a merchant that's not where, at a place and a time where your phone wasn't. So in some cases that might be perfectly fine because you bought something over the internet, and in other cases it won't be fine. And you can also track your spending in different categories, so you can keep track on a regular basis of how much you're spending in different categories. We've got a lot of good reviews, and like the TripIt application that we've heard a lot about today, it's a very well-reviewed application, 5 stars in Google Play and Apple App Store. So the question is, what can we use BuildGuard for to contribute to the Concur community? And the idea is that we will bring, I think it's a very simple idea and a very simple integration, but hopefully it's addressing a very interesting and real issue. And that is that we can bring transactions from personal cards into the Concur system. And depending on which press you read, there's still a large number, even though corporate cards are used widely by Concur users, there's still a large number of charges which are outside, a large number of charges that are expense, which are not from corporate cards. So how do we do this? From an integration with the Concur platform point of view, we'll enable SSO integration so you can sign into the BuildGuard app using your Concur credentials. We will, since it's an app from my company, we'll be able to get access to the transactions from your corporate card into the BuildGuard app without the user having to do any setup. And then using the normal BuildGuard system, we can help you then bring in the personal transactions and send them to Concur. So you'll be able to log on with Concur just normally, like you would with the BuildGuard application. You can review the transactions, but when you see one that you need to expense, you can swipe it further to expense it and send it to Concur so it can be included in an expense report. When the developers were going through and designing this kind of action, they thought it reminded them of Spinal Tap and turning, not just swiping, but swiping all the way to another. So the idea behind this integration is that you could bring the personal card expenses into the automated process that Concur represents for the company. You can minimize the time and aggravation for employees to pull things out of their personal records to expense, and in general catch problematic charges early in the process. Thank you very much.